perfectly legal for me to work for the city under a contract of my own, but I can't vote on my own contract.
Well, you see, we differ there.
I don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah. Did Lou turn you down one time for pay?
Once,
Yeah.
because he had to come behind me and remove snow from people's driveways, and that was the only problem it was.
Okay.
Was that correct?
Like I said, you know, the attorney down there will get back with you. And we'll settle this once and for all.
Yes, we will, because I have an attorney.
No, that's good, that's what I say. You know,
Actually, I think you are partially right. It's called entanglement.
Yep.
There's actually some statutes on third-class cities and contracts and the relationship in between governing body members and contracts in third-class cities, and they handle them differently than they handle them in second and first-class cities. As long as your terminology is correct when you're talking to the league, they'll get it straightened out. But if you call a contractor an employee, then they're always going to be confused on that.
I talked to the main attorney down at the league just about it.
But if you're asking
I
about
talked to one of the interns.
if you're asking about an employee relationship, then that answer is correct. So
I talked to him about council members, governing bodies.
yes, if you're
Yes.
asking about council or governing body members as employees of the city, that answer is correct, and that's the answer you'll get if you're asking about employees.
Yeah.
What Sean is talking about is a governing body member doing contract work for the city, and you have to ask the question with the right terminology to get an answer that applies to the situation. And there are specific steps that have to be taken to keep that in a conflicted contractual relationship. Very specific steps that have to be taken, but terminology is extremely important when you're talking to the league about that. Because if you confuse your terminology, they'll be confused about what you're talking about.
Like I say, we'll table Sean's request for payment on this until I can hear back from the attorney of the municipalities.
May I ask who you would think will work for the city, considering we're a very small town and we have very few people that are willing. I have seen very few people volunteering to do things, and we did do a resolution that follows up with what was in the guidelines that were in the municipality books that do say that the city council people can contract work with the city legally. So my concern is that are you going to run away everybody that is even willing to work for the city?
I'm sure that if we're paying, you'll find a lot more people that are willing to work.
We have
Well,
been
ain't nobody gonna
paying.
do it as cheap as I do it.
Yeah, $25, $50.
I do it at 25 an hour.
There's a couple people do it cheaper than that.
No.
Yeah, yes.
Mr. Mayor, I applaud your integrity. I think people will come forward if it doesn't appear that council members are lining their pockets.
That's right.
And I appreciate you do try to make that above board, and if it does continue to be a problem, have legal representation sitting at the meetings like Hiawatha and Horton.
Yeah. I've already contacted 2 lawyers.
Well, I'm gonna contact the Attorney General to do an audit on the city. How about that?
I hope you do.
Yeah,
I hope you do.
Yeah, because, and I will be contacting my lawyer,
Oh, do.
and he will be speaking with you.
Well, we
Okay,
spent
do.
45 to
Do.
walk on it. We need to get it free.
Yeah, but we need that electric lock. People can pick regular locks. Takes a fork, boom, hey, you're in the door.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
People that
We had a
also
big problem
use
with
the
that before, right?
screwdriver and got into the shelter house over there too. So, and it had a keypad lock on it.
Yeah, that's what happened in the city door too, somebody
Took a screwdriver and they can
Yeah.
try to get in, that's right. So it's not
So,
safe.
those things are, full vehicle.
Well, people just need to mind their own business and
See out of everyone else's way.
That's right. But, I
If
mean,
they would, they don't do it.
that's why we've got police departments, because a lot of people don't.
Please don't carry either, Jim.
No, they're too busy taking care of the reservation right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
rings down.
Yeah, they do.
Them in the KVI, I wouldn't wanna be living on the reservation.
Well, if there's no other business, entertain a motion to adjourn.
You didn't run through the members.
Next meeting will be February 4th
March.
at 7 p.m.
Somebody second that meeting? Maybe.
Motion to adjourn.
Tracy made the motion, but I think there was a second. I don't think.
Well, why don't you
Is it
second?
too late to get some,
Somebody
can I
else?
get something on next meeting's agenda?
Oh, you want, yes.
Well, I don't know when to add stuff. I have a property here in town.
Yes.
There's 2 trees on the property, my property, but it technically lays within the city's right of way of a road that is not open. I want to remove these trees. I'm assuming it's gonna be on my dollar. But I just want somebody at some point to review it and say, yeah, you can go ahead and take those out because it's in a closed road.
Well, right
right
away
away.
to the streets, right?
I can tell you
Yeah.
exactly where they're at, but
Yeah, right away, yeah.
it lays in a road right away, but it's not an open road. It's technically not an open road, but on the plat map, it's a city road, it's a city right of way. So I didn't wanna go start cutting stuff down
Yeah,
that technically I may not have authority
Yeah,
over.
along with it.
Okay.
okay. Sean, you said you looked at it.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, all in favor of adjournment?
Tracy, motion, who seconded? Sean? Thank you.
All in favor, motion carried.
Yeah, you said all afternoon at the.
Awful quiet.
It's much nicer.
Hey,
Oh, we
Jim,
did.
can I ask why we didn't run to the council members to see if anybody had anything?
Yeah, you can ask that.
So do we have to read the meeting or what?
No. I was just asking why we didn't do it, that's all.
Oh, he just did the streets and that stuff.
That was it, yeah.
When you got the floor, that's time to ask.
Well, you're the mayor.
It's also on the agenda that they
You're the
have
mayor.
the right to speak.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you call for the streets, he's got anything to say,
I
that's
spoke.
the time to say it.
I spoke, but you didn't ask any of the other council members if they had suggestions.
We did. We were talking about the stuff. Sharon did with her, she said she didn't want to be included in the proposal, but I don't know if you had a format. You have to make a
No.
format, I guess. However,
Okay.
we'll get her that. Does he have, you said should have a copy of that.
Get down from there.
She took the agenda of the meeting.
Get off the coffee table now.